From Carolla One Studios in Glendale, California, this is the Adam Carolla Show. Adam's guest today, Dan Dunn, with Gina Grad on news, Walt Bryan on sound effects, and a spirited round of the Rotten Tomatoes game. And now, just to be prepared for Dan Dunn's segment today, he's been shit-faced since Friday morning. Adam Carolla.
Yeah, get it on. Got to get it on. The choice, but again, I mean, that you get it on. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for telling a friend. We love that about you, right, Gina Grad?
That's right.
Handball, Brian. We'll do a little Fibey Scrapey, yo. I was so much to get into. I was watching that Allen v. Farrow doc on HBO.
Creepy.
Yeah. Creepy. Here's what a bad person I am. Like, I'm watching it, and it's like Woody Allen, and then it's like she showed up. She had no panties on. Woody had taken her up to the attic of the place, and then my next thought is, oh, Broadway Danny Rose. I got to watch that with Sonny. That's Jimmy's favorite movie. Yeah. I love Broadway Danny Rose.
Most people don't see this as a promotional tool for Woody Allen's movies. Quite the opposite.
I know, but it made me realize what they do is they scroll through all his titles and they talk about all the ones Mia Farrow made. And I'm like, oh, Take the Money and Run. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
First one I ever saw. Oh, I loved Radio Days. And
I was going to say, don't sleep on Radio Days.
I'm not, and I'm in such a, Sonny and I just watched Spinal Tap last night. So, like, I'm in such a, here's some cool old movies, and he's old enough to get into them now. And so, like something like Broadway Danny Rose, I would grease the skids. I would say, this is your Uncle Jimmy's favorite Woody Allen movie, and then go watch it. So that's a crazy, crazy story, filled with lots of specifics, you know. Also,
damning.
It's like, I hate to be Mr. Me Too guy. And
you're known for it.
I don't think that's a danger for you.
Well, what I mean is like, you know, when they say, you know, when Cuomo's got a picture and he put his arm around the girl and they got a little handsy and there was like 45 people standing around him. That's not what we're talking about here.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And
I don't see bursting out of the shower.
Yeah.
Come to my room if you want to, land a part in the next picture.
I don't think we do ourselves any favors when we start mixing everything up. Remember when the great Matt Damon 6 years ago said, let's not mix up Harvey Weinstein with Al Franken, and he hasn't uttered a word since into a microphone? We don't need to silence everyone who makes super obvious points about these things. Yeah. Because when you start lumping the when you start taking Woody Allen and, I don't know, let's say Roman Polanski, and you start lumping them in with other guys who are, remember they tried to do that thing with George Bush where he put his hand on the chick's butt and told a joke?
While he was in his wheelchair?
Let me tell you something. Right. The greatest day for Harvey Weinstein is being lumped in with George Bush.
George Bush.
Right? Then that just
that boosts his case.
Yes, it's like saying, let's just take the axe murders and the shoplifters and just kind of put them in one corral.
Yeah, they're bad guys.
They're bad guys. We'll just judge them the same way. So I was watching it, and like I said, had a lot of specific stuff in it, and I do kind of get back to that point where, and I know it happens, but, I'm a dude and I got my daughter and her young friends running all over the house all the time. And if somebody said like, well, Adam was this or that, I'd be like, you're fucking nuts. Go get a lie detector.
Well, you were photobombing her Zoom while naked.
Well, that was just
true.
funny. That's just good, clean fun.
And then there's this weird part where it's like, look, we never did anything. We were just hot tubbing, and I was having a couple of highballs with them. Like, there's that weird part where it's like, well, what were you doing in the hot tub?
Mm-hmm.
So
somehow worse.
Yeah. So
it's like, what? You just want to hang out?
There's no gray area at your house, is what you're saying.
No, I'm either nude and in a Zoom shot, or I'm out. I'm in my office, completely out of the shot. So I also had, I think, about the biggest chasm between TV viewing there could possibly be. I was sitting at home watching the NBA skills portion of the All-Star game where the basketball players go through the serpentine through the cones and then try to throw a three. And, everyone, Shaq's laughing and yucking it up. And I was like watching that. And then I was like, ooh, it's time for the Woody Allen. Then I switched over to somber music and shots of panning over doll houses.
Broken toys.
Yeah, broken toys.
One of few viewers to make that leap from the NBA skills competition. Like, oh, my alarm just went off.
Probably, but the story is wacko. I told Chris to get me Mia Farrow's kids.
Lots of them. I didn't realize that that's a big brood. It was like 7, 8 kids.
Yeah,
are they all from Woody Allen or the
no,
kids?
No, it is so.
Kids.
Andre Previn, I think the musician-composer Andre Previn, she had 3 biological kids from Andre Previn, set of twins, and then another child. So she had 3 kids coming in. She adopted many others. Soon Yi,
including Soon Yi. Yeah,
everyone calls Suni in it, not Soon Yi. So we've been saying that wrong. She struck up a love affair with Soon Yi. Woody did.
Is Suni possibly a nickname? Like the Soon part of it is like Suni? I don't know.
I don't know. Everyone calls her Soon Yi. I mean, the press does because it's Y-I, but it's Suni is how they say it. It's got to be weird. How insane is it to be Mia Farrow? Like your common law husband is dating your teenage adopted Korean daughter, and like you're finding crazy, creepy, naked photographs of her like in the apartment, and oh God, ugh. So that's the whole thing. Like whenever you take a look at someone's life, like Mia Farrow, you go, "What a charmed, blessed, whatever life." How goddamn tortured can you possibly get?
And this is on the heels of the Gina, but the Frank Sinatra thing where she was served divorce papers on the set of Rosemary's Baby.
Right.
Like a tough life.
And it makes me think of what you said, which I told Andy when we were watching this. The worst thing you could possibly hear as some sort of executive from your secretary is Ronan Farrow's on the phone.
Yeah.
Ronan Farrow like a comment.
Yeah.
Also, it just kind of strikes me when you hear about all the Woody Allen stuff. He was kind of pre-Me Too and didn't really get tarred too badly. I mean, he got slapped around, but he didn't get canceled.
It was more like late night monologue fodder than it was, canceled. He wanted to make many, many, many movies.
Also, it struck me that there used to be kind of a policy in Hollywood, which is if you were some senator from the South, you were going to get crushed, and you were some Baptist minister, you're going to get crushed. But if you were Hollywood royalty, they would kind of look the other way. I mean, Roman Polanski gets standing ovations when he gets an Academy Award. Like, there was a lot of this going on in Hollywood, and they kind of went, he's kind of one of us. Leave him alone. I mean, even Harvey Weinstein, they were killing those stories,
That's right. Catch and kill.
I mean, he operated with impunity for probably 30 years. Yeah.
Right. Except for that part, I was getting worried thinking, oh, God, he's going to say that's the Jews. But it kind of all balances because you have your Polanskis and who is basically, living in exile, and Woody, whose name is now finally being tarnished. But then you have your Epsteins, your Weinsteins. So I think the Jews, we're at a net zero with if we're going to tolerate that or not.
I was also, so I'm going to watch the rest. I don't know how many parts it is. I don't know.
It's a tough
parts,
watch.
4 parts, yeah.
Pretty sure.
Also, I came up with a fairly diabolical way to figure out who's taller, my son or my daughter. Because my daughter has always been taller than my son and literally lorded it over him. And my son is caught up fast in the last several months.
I have an idea of how to do this too, but let's hear yours.
It's imprecise compared to what I'm doing. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. It's not all right. And he's going to be 6'4.5". He's going fast, but he's catching her. But really, her claim to fame is taller than him. And when the girl is taller than the boy, and she's a full 10 seconds younger than him. It's been fun for her, but I think the ride it's getting to the end because he's now caught her. The latest is the doctor says he's taller, but Natalia disputes it because these guys get it wrong all the time. And by the way, that stupid stick they put on the scale. Remember those things like slide the thing up? Yep. How many times have you seen that on a kid where the thing's going up at a 45-degree angle, like the stick? Like, well, there's 2.5 inches right there. But okay. So I was sort of thinking about it. You can do that move. Sometimes people hold their hand up and then they go, oh, now I'm going to move it over here. Not precise. There's the kind of mark on the wall or put the book on the head, make the mark. But I said...
balance a level on their heads?
Level them. I'm a carpenter. Let's give them the level challenge. Let's give them the level challenge. I took a wooden yardstick. I said, let's go back to back. They went back to back. Actually, they both went back up against the wall. I said, shoes off, back, get as tall as you can with your heels on the ground, back up against the wall.
Nose and toes to the wall, scared straight.
That's right. Then I put the wooden stick on its edge, and I found the highest point in each one of their crowns, and I got it on there, and then I put a torpedo level on top of the wooden stick, and I was like, and it was literally within the lines of the bubble, but it tilted a little toward Natalia. Just the bubble, even inside the bubble, it still can be a little one way or the other. I said
tilted towards her. That means she's taller by a fraction, right?
I would estimate
goes up.
I would estimate if I lifted up the bubble, I could get it to the center in about a 16th, maybe an 8th tops.
You didn't tell Sonny this, did you?
I announced it in front of both of them. Natalia just took off, just sort of. She was just leaping. Yes, she was just like a little nymph, just wood nymph, just
sprightly,
sprite.
Yeah.
She was a little sprite. She was just galloping down the hall, and I yelled, "Enjoy it while you can, because you got about 7 days at this rate."
This is not a victory. You don't want to spike the ball on this one,
or get your spiking in.
True.
Well, you can, because once he's going to be 6'4" and she's going to be 5'10.5" or something. But literally, probably 32nd, maybe a 16th of an inch, just that much. So the level challenge is kind of interesting. And for those of you, I couldn't find my 2-foot level. All I had was my big 6-foot level, and I thought, that's child abuse. You can't put a 6-foot level on your kid's head. So I found my little torpedo level, and I put a little flat stick on its edge above them. So
give us updated.
I'll keep you updated. I should throw one on. I'm going to redo it when I get home just to make sure I got a full accurate measurement. All right, so good news for the movie Uppity and Showtime. After all this time, finally got our deal closed at Showtime. The reason I'm saying this is because people don't realize what a slog most everything is, and it's sort of why you have to kind of plant a few seeds, have some other seeds that you're cultivating, have some other that are in the size of a shrub. You know what I mean? You have to just kind of keep everything cultivated and planted and constantly in the ground, because it's so long in between things.
Right.
I mean, it must have been 2, maybe 3 years since Brian Koppelman over at Billions and Showtime was talking about doing Uppity as a series on Showtime when they're done with Billions.
How long has it been since
John Singleton
died?
John Singleton.
Yeah, Singleton. The COVID thing has completely destroyed my calendar, but I think Singleton died pre-COVID.
Yeah, we were
for
in
sure.
studio.
Yeah.
I was thinking 3 years.
Yeah, I don't. I'd be surprised if it was 3, but it could have been April 2019. So
2019.
coming up.
2 years. Yeah.
Jesus Christ. So this thing's been sitting around for like 3 years. But anyway, finally got the deal closed. They got a writer they like. I called Willie T. Willie T said, he's from Texas, or he is a Texan now. And he's like, we've been jerking off this dead pig for 3 years. And I said, he finally busted a nut. And then he started laughing like an insane person. So Willie's pumped.
That's an analogy.
And we're starting down that road, and who the fuck knows? But at least there's movement in that
That's pretty
department.
cool.
Yeah.
Wait a second. I don't mean to S on the parade here, but just because this has come up in the past, they didn't pull a Garagos's Palm Springs Hotel on you, did they? We'll
away.
do it as long as your name is nowhere
Nowhere near it.
I'm sure I'll be in the
Sure, come
bathroom
on.
when the awards are handed out. So we got
Do you
that.
do you know the name of the writer?
Yeah, I can. I wrote it down. I can't. I went in and me and Nate like IMDb'd him, and he's been around for a while. He hasn't written a bunch of big features or anything. He's worked on a lot of TV shows,
That's
but
cool.
it's
This
not
is exciting.
Wouldn't
This
be
is
anything.
very cool.
Yeah, well, it's movement is always nice. Gina, you got your first shot.
I just got it. And this is right after I announced and proclaimed and knew that I would be the last person in this state to get vaccinated. And just like that, everything changed. I still have my Band-Aid on. I just got back just now. And it was a full, I was in a downtown parking structure, full military, FEMA, everybody in dress fatigues. It was very dystopian. It was very sci-fi, very easy. Everyone was super nice. And it just happened really quickly. It was, because I'm sure everyone wants to know why. Long story short, because I still work for and at a news station that does, emergency broadcasting and, can be there at a moment's notice to break emergency news. That's sort of how that worked. So I did, but when I proclaimed everybody get your shit together because I'm going to be last, then this came to be, then this information came to be. So I just got the Pfizer and I get another one in a couple weeks. And it's so far so good. You stay in like a sectioned off area for 15 minutes and you have a bracelet on and they write the time on it that you're not allowed to leave until it's that time. And that's just to make sure you don't go into anaphylactic shock or something from the vaccine. And once your time is up, you go and you check out, and it's, it's very official, but it was very well run. And it was funny because everyone's in fatigues and it's just a military presence everywhere. And it's a little unnerving, but they have music blaring to make people more comfortable. So as I'm snaking through this line with like my card and my ID and, very stern looking, people in military outfits, they're playing Brown Eyed Girl. And I think just to kind of, ease the tension. And it was easy. And I wasn't going to say anything because, you may or may not feel the same way, but it's especially in California, as you guys know, it's very difficult to get it. Even Brian obviously can't get it yet. And you don't want to be braggy. I would love for, I feel very lucky. And so I'm not going to like post on social media like an I voted sticker. I don't mean to be that way. It's just, I'm lucky and it's done and it was very easy. And nobody should be scared to get it.
And the second one is when?
The 28th.
What the fuck's the date? Yeah,
21 days from now.
I saw my elderly parents over the weekend. I saw them both over the weekend. I just want to get it over with. And I realized
Birds.
this fucking mask thing. They both got their first shot. I don't know what the number is. 70% on the first shot. I feel like
80 maybe.
So here's been the problem. There's been a lot of rounding down. There's been a lot of managing expectations for almost every facet of this disease. And my thing is like, don't manage me. Just tell me. Like, well, we don't want to tell people the first shot gets them most of the way there because we want them to get the second shot, so we're going to tell them. But it seems like the first shot gets you most of the way there.
Yes. And by the way, to say something like that and to quote unquote manage expectations, you know what you're doing? You're shitting all over the Johnson & Johnson vaccine that is only, 70-75% efficacy, which is great. So if you're saying that's not good enough, then nobody's going to get in line for that shot.
But are you 70% with the first and then the rest of the way with the second? Anyway, doesn't matter. My mom, we're sitting outdoors. We're about 10 feet apart. We're sitting out on a patio. She's got her first shot. And again, I'm about 9 feet away from her because we're keeping our distance, which I wish we would have implemented years ago. I wish we would have done this when I was in junior high.
Adopt that policy.
Sitting 9 feet away from her. She's sitting there. She's got her first shot, but she's got this stupid mask on. And the mask, it's a little tough on the very old people because they're not good with that kind of shit. I mean, they could barely handle a universal remote or a cell phone. So my mom has got the mask on, but the hoop that goes around her ear is like she can't do her hearing aid and the thing's like putting pressure on her hearing aid. But because we're socially distanced, I'm having to yell at her, and she's like, I can't do the hearing aid because the hoop on the mask. And I was like, I just want to go, bitch, you're 70% of the way there. I'm 10 feet away. We're outside. I think you'll make it. But that was that. And then later, my dad has big ears, and he had the thing hooked on about half of his ear, and then the rest was just around his neck the entire time. And he's just sort of laying back on the sofa with the thing around his neck and the thing like choking the blood off of his ear and stuff. And it's like, I love the dance of the retards. That's my favorite part of life is the dance of the retards. Like, hey, old people, you either wear it right or fucking put it in your lap. This thing with this symbolic, and by the way, I'm not wearing a mask, so you don't have to prove anything. It's a very interesting mindset. It's like, yeah, I'm wearing my mask. It's like, yeah, I got my seatbelt on, but it's around my back. It's not in front of me. Like, but it's still kind of, it's clicked. If we get into an accident, it's as if you never touched the seatbelt. That's where we're at. I can see all my dad's nose hairs. He's kind of like leaning back, and the mask is around his chin, and each strap is dug into his huge earlobes. So there was that. That was that. And also the other thing I realized, my parents are so old, they never go anywhere. So they're just looking at me, when I'm going like, I was just in Oklahoma City playing clubs. Yeah. Going out to eat.
Dad pulled the mask a little tighter.
Doing normal things that states do. You're just trapped in California. You don't fucking know any better. You're like, but what's going on over there? And what clubs are you talking about? It's like the rest of the fucking free world is now open. You guys made the mistake of moving to California in 1951, and you're fucking trapped, and you're going to die with this stupid mask halfway around. One's hooked around your lobe, the other's hooked around your nutsack, and you're just laying there on the fucking sofa waiting for Newsom to let you fucking go back to church. All right. So that was funny. My dad goes to church. Or would like to go to church. Yeah.
Another little breaking news update is the little 5-year-old, and he's in public school, will be going back on Monday.
Ooh, wow! Praise be.
And it's split up in it's really cute. It's the early birds and the later gators. But for kindergarten, I only went a half day too. Like I don't think kindergartners go from
that's pretty typical.
Yeah. So I don't think that's related to COVID or anything.
I had this great conversation with my daughter an hour ago. I was like, you want to go back to school? No. Well, why not? Because you can't cheat. I go, oh. Yeah.
Oh.
Is everyone cheating? Yeah. Everyone just cheats.
Like a Zoom test or something?
Everyone's just, the smart kid is FaceTiming everybody and like everything's, it's just whatever you would do if you could do that. Sure, I got a math app, it gives me all the, that's what everyone is doing. Everyone. And because I'm me, I was like, Would you say it takes a certain amount of skill to cheat? Yeah, you got to do it right. I'm like, okay, as long as we're learning something. I mean, we're not learning about whatever the fucking subject is, but we're learning how to cheat.
Yeah, I'm not learning algebra.
There's a stealth, counting cards is a skill, I guess.
Absolutely.
There are many things that would sort of fall under that heading. So the old kids ain't going back. The thing I find insane about this is the airline, and there's been a lot of stories now of kids and families being thrown off flights because their 2-year-old wouldn't keep the mask on. As far as I can tell, this doesn't do anything to 2-year-olds, and 2-year-olds don't do anything to it. 2-year-old is a pretty low random fucking number to pick for someone to keep their mask on for a 6-hour flight or however long you're on that. I mean, bump it up to 7 or 5 or something. 2's undoable.
Well, 2-year-olds are still like drunk, emotional abusers.
Yeah. Right.
I mean, they're not going to, that's not the age that you ask them to do things.
What I'm saying is with everything is like, why do we always have to go the direction of, safety? Like, well, it's not really hurting kids, so we could cut it off at 10. Let's make it 2. Okay. Let's do something that's physically not achievable for a 2-year-old, and or then make the poor fucking put upon mom wrestle with the kid the entire fucking flight because that 2-year-old is not going to want to fucking keep that mask on. All right. Dan Dunn.
Oh, boy.
Zooming in soon with lots of good-looking booze here.
Everybody ready? Everybody got their department here?
I'm ready. All right, let me tell you guys first about Tommy John. I'm wearing mine right now. 75-inch TV, not the 50-inch TV, the ribeye, not the sirloin. Business, not coach, with your 2-year-old. Paying a little more, it's worth it. There's a difference. Yeah, you need Tommy John. Tommy John. I'm wearing them right now. So comfortable. You do everything better. Dozens of comfort innovations. Breathable, lightweight, moisture-wicking fabric. 4 times the stretch of competing brands. Once you try Tommy John, you're never going back. Tommy John, they don't have customers. They have fanatics. Over 13 million pairs sold. Once I got the Tommy Johns, that's it. I'm wearing them now. Especially good if you're working out, riding something, jogging, hitting a rowing machine. It is the best. It's the best pair you'll ever wear, or it's free, guaranteed. Right, Dawson?
Returns and exchanges are free, and right now get 20% off your first order at TommyJohn.com/Adam. That's 20% off at Tommy John underwear and loungewear at TommyJohn.com/Adam. TommyJohn.com/Adam. See site for details.
By the way, we'll get into it in more detail, but I talked to a friend of the show, comedian Brad Williams, on Friday afternoon, and he said, hey, heard the show. Heard you guys talking about proms and who's the leader in the clubhouse with proms and, Bald Brian's travel story and Dawson going with a senior and so on and so forth. And he just looked at me and he goes, 7 proms. I've been to 7 proms.
Shut up.
7 proms.
As the entertainment, come on.
He said there were little people proms, and when that's a circuit right there. I said
that is very interesting, and I'm glad you brought this up because somebody tweeted us, and as long as we're talking about it, let's just make sure Chris Rosa goes to the front of the line. He said, I had an even worse standing for prom. I worked at the banquet hall we had our prom at. So I didn't go to the prom, but I was working it.
Man.
That's a new low.
Man.
That's rough.
That is rough.
Yeah.
All right. So we'll get hold of Brad and we'll talk to him soon. Maybe Tuesday, Wednesday, something like that. Dan Dunn, our favorite, is in the wings, and we'll start the booze cruise right after this.
It's time for Nicaraguan Name That Movie with Adam's buddy Oswaldo. See if you can guess which movie this famous line is from.
I mean, Luca Brasi sleep with the fishes.
If you said The Godfather,
That means Luca Brasi sleeps with the fishes.
you're correct. Now, back to the show.
Dan Dunn back on the show. perennial all-star here. What We're Drinking with Dan Dunn, available wherever you get your podcasts, and the Instagram at The Imbiber. What do you got for us, Dan?
Hi, everybody. How are you?
Hi, good.
Hi. Well, Ace, years ago, you launched Mangria. I believe that was around 2012, and it turns out you were way ahead of the game in terms of celebrity-owned or endorsed booze brands. But for me, Star Liquor, if you will, all started back in the early 80s. I remember this, Billy D. Williams and Colt 45, right? Early 80s, you got Billy D., cable knit sweater. Remember, he's lounging on the sofa in a softly lit bachelor pad, and he's got that fucking look on his face, that half smirk.
Smooth.
Billy D always,
yeah.
the one we live in Princess Leia when he said, you belong with me in the clouds. That look. And he pulled that shit right in front of Han Solo, too. So anyway, what's he got in his hand? Can of Colt 45. And he said these famous words: there are 2 rules to remember if you want to have a good time. Rule number 1, never run out of Colt 45. What was rule number 2, Gina?
Oh, get some ice.
Never forget rule number 1.
Oh,
Yeah.
God. He went full Fight Club.
Yeah, right. So rule number 3, I guess, is don't underestimate the impact of a celebrity endorsement. Adam knows this. From the moment I saw that commercial, I never did. And I mean, look, these days, there are so many famous people, including Adam, who are involved in the booze business. You got Clooney and Randy Gerber with Casamigos. Bruno Mars has a rum. Kate Hudson has a vodka. The Rock has a tequila, and on down. Our old friend Dan Aykroyd, Ryan Reynolds, Bob Dylan has a booze.
You know what
Heaven's Door.
You know what I'd like to do? Yeah. I'd be curious. So it's comical because the guys is always like, malt liquor, so smooth. The ladies love it. It's like ladies hate malt liquor. Mm-hmm. Everyone hates malt liquor. Malt liquor tastes like shit. But the only reason you drink malt liquor is to catch an early buzz, and it was always kind of, we figured, well, if you want to get buzzed, drink the malt liquor. And if you want to sip on something, drink some Miller Lite. Max Zapata just left the station. But what I'm curious about is, what is the alcohol content of malt liquor? Because it probably wasn't exceedingly high. It was probably just higher than It was probably just higher than Pabst Blue Ribbon. So I'll have Chris, when he gets back in the booth, look that one up. But see, now
did I ever tell you, Adam? I had a buddy in college who did the math on all the liquors and drinks and whatever, and figured out what was the best per penny, like the best buzz you could get for the money, and it was boxed wine. For the price, the best buzz you could get was boxed wine.
Still is.
What is Colt 45 malt liquor? What is the alcohol content on that? And the reason we're living in a great day is because now you just get a delectable double IPA, and it's got more booze in it than the Colt 45 does, and it's scrumdiddlyicious. So 5.6. Yeah, I mean, that's just a little bit, it's just a tick and a half over Bud.
It's Bud Ice right there.
Yeah.
Might not even be.
Yeah.
Strong beer, but not overpowering by any means.
Yeah.
You can still have your Billy D. You're not going to lose your game,
Yeah. I like Hammer. I like when they were
Williamson?
Fred Williamson, when he'd come and go, I'm looking for Hammer, and he had a custom drinking desk made for himself. Those were the days. All right, what do we got, Dan?
All right, so I obviously couldn't bring everything in. I tried to get a nice selection here. We see we're going to start off, which is the easiest thing. It's in a can, and it's called the Long Drink. Okay, the celebrities attached to this are Miles Teller, actor Miles Teller, Whiplash, Fantastic Four. He's the star of the upcoming Top Gun Maverick movie. Also, a famous DJ named Kygo. Yes, I had to look that up because I'm not hip, but he's really fucking famous. He's got like 6 million followers. And then golfer Ricky Fowler. Pro golfers also. So what this is, the long drink. Yeah, the long drink is the #1 drink in Finland. And it goes back to 1952. The Summer Games were in Finland. They were worried they weren't going to be able to keep up with everybody drinking. So the government said, come up with a drink that we can serve in a can, or something really quick and easy. And this was it. So this brand launched in 2018. Miles Teller wasn't a part of it then. He actually tried it at a party or something in New York City, loved it, got in touch with the owners, because you can do that when you're famous. And then he became a partner. And then Kygo and Ricky Fowler came on later. But let's try this thing, man. And I want to hear what you guys think.
Cheers.
It's
Dan, what's the difference between this
tasty.
and White Claw? I mean, like,
Oh,
I mean,
my
like
God.
I'm going to tell you right now, this got a lot more sugar in it. This is a
Yes.
lot better. What White Claw?
What I was going to say is this is way more delicious.
Yeah. The difference
Claw's
is
like a
Miles Teller's not going to kick your ass for bagging on White Claw. You mess with that dude. No, this is I find this actually kind of rich and it's really refreshing. I was going out to the desert a lot this summer and I was drinking this stuff and it goes down a little too easy, probably, because I think the alcohol in this is above 5%.
So
too.
Dan,
Yeah.
what did you drink once you got to the desert?
Yeah, exactly.
The long trip.
Exactly. This is a good one. I'm not a big fan of the hard seltzers necessarily. This thing just has,
No, this
got a
is
nice flavor to it.
Look, you would drink this over White Claw any day and twice on Sunday, but at some point you're going to find out the calories in this are twice the White Claw or another 50, and that's
sugar content
probably
must be
going to
off the
slow your
charts.
roll a little bit. But if this thing is anywhere near a White Claw, I think the White Claw is always like 100 calories or 99 calories or something like that. No carbs, obviously.
Adam, that is spoken like a true basic bitch. White Claw is only like 100 calories.
Yeah. So right. Now, if this thing's anywhere near 100, you definitely do this over White Claw.
Well, Dan, you said that we had a few varieties sent over to us. I did, and I must confess I broke into the sugar-free one that came.
Yeah.
And that is your low carb keto option if you're going for these long drinks.
Yeah, this one. So the long drink's 180 with 18 grams of carbs, and the White Claw's 100 calories with 2 grams of carbs. So that's why this one's better.
Well, and I know Brian's not a big pamplemousse guy, a big grapefruit guy. I love it. This is one you want to keep away from. I don't know. She might be too young for this, but the Natalias of the world, the teenage girls, where this does not taste alcoholic. This just tastes delicious.
This tastes good.
Yeah, I'm a fan. And this is about $12 for a 6-pack. So not bad. All right. So we'll stick with the gin category here. And it was bound to happen. From the day that he put this song out in 1994, it was destiny that this had to happen.
I don't want to sound like a full alcoholic, but this long drink to me tastes like a good mixer. It tastes like you could go ahead and put a little, put a little gin or something in it, because I can't. At 5.5 with all that sort of citrus flavor in it, I can barely taste. I don't think I'm even tasting the alcohol in it, as Gina alluded to. Yeah,
that's delicious. Tastes like Fresca.
Sorry,
so
back to
Adam
1994.
Adam would be asleep in the beach chair out in the desert after knocking back some long drink. 1994, the inimitable Snoop Dogg wrote Gin and Juice. And now, finally, the dream has been realized right here with Indigo Gin.
Ooh.
New from the man himself, Snoop Dogg. And I don't know how you guys are gonna do this. I'm gonna do this with a little tonic, a little gin and tonic. Since
This is heavily flavored, yes?
This smells like Tessa's cough syrup.
It really does.
oh, man.
I'm just trying it straight.
All right, do it. You're doing it straight.
I'm going to try
Adam,
it.
how are you drinking
Taste it
yours?
first?
I'm going to do a butt funnel.
This smells like a vape pen,
Oh no.
This,
like a strawberry vape pen.
Oh no.
this smells like a air freshener you'd get at a truck stop in Baker. That's what it smells like. When you take that first whiff, it's like, tired of that prostitute smell in your cab, fellas? That's what it smells like. I have a thing with sort of synthetic stuff. Like, I like beer to taste like beer and gin to taste like gin. I don't like all the multi-flavored everything all the time. It feels weird to me.
This smells, and any woman listening will know what I'm talking about. This smells like lip smackers, like flavored chapstick.
Christy's trying it off screen and she almost gagged.
I mean, it's not bad. It's just
What?
guys are going to ruin Snoop, man. You're going to ruin his career right here. Look at this.
Oh, no.
Poor guy.
We beseech you to get your own bottle, but just know what you're in for.
First of all, he was high as fuck when he made it. You know that. So he's like, yeah, put a little bit. What I'm going to tell you from a traditional gin is there isn't I don't notice hardly any juniper in this. Which is what you would expect out of a gin. It's very fruity. Like I'm getting strawberries. Is anybody else
getting strawberries, Dan?
You're getting strawberries.
Strawberry infused, flavored.
Does it say that on there?
Strawberry flavored gin. It says.
You're getting yes.
Oh, I didn't even know that. All right.
All natural
why
strawberry flavor.
Oh, I'm sure.
This is like, Dan, you getting strawberries is like falling into a sewage treatment facility, a rendering bin, and going, I'm getting I'm almost an ass. Almost like an ass flavor in this thing as a dookie sails by your nose.
Boy.
Yes, this is all strawberry.
Crack.
Yes. This is for people that don't like booze,
This
right?
is for a customer who is not me.
Right.
Okay.
This is great.
And for those listening,
it's not for everyone.
And for
What?
those listening, I know Dan called it indigo, but it's spelled Indago, like Snoop Dogg.
Indago.
Yeah.
Because he's like
Okay.
the Snoop Dogg.
Yeah, but it's pronounced indigo for sure. That's the one thing I know about.
What is
You
this
know
thing?
there are strawberries in this, and you're telling us how to pronounce it.
Dan, what's it retail for?
This retails.
They pay you $12.
It retails for $30.
No, I'm saying what for? Not what the price. I mean, what's it retail for? What are we
why?
doing
Like,
here?
spiritually,
Why?
why?
Yeah.
Why?
I'm not asking the price.
Oh my God.
I'm saying why?
Not for
What's it for?
It's not for everyone. Okay, we're gonna say that. All right, we tried it. This is good. This is the first time I've had it actually, right here on the show with you guys.
Chris, you know my policy of all bottles go back to the Carolla Casa?
Yeah.
You guys can fight over this one. Okay. How about that?
Oh my God.
This shall not make the pilgrimage.
Chris is going to eat the cork.
How about the song? Did everybody like the song?
Yes,
Gin and
sure.
Juice.
Gin and Juice,
Yeah,
of course.
Okay.
No, this
All
is
right.
this is for you to get and dump a little Fanta into and get your buzz on, right?
Yeah, that's-
This is a pool party solo
Yeah,
cup. Right?
this is a college party.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was probably designed to be that way. I don't think they overthought it. You know, I don't think Snoop was going over there and interviewing gin makers in London. I think it was just like, hey, let's make a cool bottle, price it, and then just sell it to the fans. So, all right,
Done.
we'll move on to a one that I'm sure
Your
you're going to
buddy,
like
your
here.
buddy Simon, the mixologist, should not worry
Simon
about.
Ford.
Yeah, should
Ford's
not
gin is
worry
not in
about
trouble.
Snoop nipping at his heels with this one.
All right. We'll move on to a filmmaker here by the name of Steven Soderbergh, the acclaimed director. His
Curious
product,
about this.
Yeah, this is great. Okay, it's called Singani 63. That's the name of the brand. Singani is the national spirit of Bolivia. It's been around for about 500 years, and for most of that history, it's never been out of Bolivia. Steven Soderbergh first became familiar with it in 2007 when he was making the movie Shay. One of his members of his staff gave him some. He fell in love with it and then sort of made it his mission to bring this thing to the States, which he finally did. He partnered with a distillery down there called Casa Real, which is the most famous Singani producing distillery in all of Bolivia. And this is the stuff. And what I love about Singani, it's not as popular as, say, it's more, the more popular South American spirits would be Pisco and Cachaça, but this thing is so versatile. You can put it in a Vesper, a Bloody Mary, a Ramos Fizz, Daiquiri, Negroni. The drink that I'm going to make right now is called the Chew Fly, which is just 2 ounces of Singani. I'm going to eyeball it, probably more than that, and ginger beer with some lime wheels in there. It's called the Chew Fly. And
Hold on, is this brandy? Why does it say brandy?
The United States has classified it as brandy.
Yeah.
Okay. But Steven's been fighting this battle for years, and he swears it's going to happen any day now with the TTB to get Singani declared its own spirit category, and he's pretty certain that's going to happen, and it's going to happen in the next couple of months.
They got to call it something, Adam, so they call it brandy, but it's
very delicious. I like it. And I could see ginger. Yeah, I could see ginger beer and ginger ale really going nicely with it.
So it's got like a little gin, and it's got some other. It's kind of complex, and it's unlike any hard stuff I've tasted. It's not going to be your gin, your vodka, your rum.
It's not harsh.
No, it's kind of a little bit fruity and woody and
sipping booze.
Yeah. What'd you
Yeah,
mix with
it's
it?
funny.
Ginger beer?
The ginger beer, yeah. And again, I would say what I love about this, again, to reiterate, is this is a pinch hitter. You can put this in any drink. So if you're running out of gin and you want to use it in a Negroni, you can go for it. You can put it in that. I don't drink Bloody Marys myself, but I hear they're very tasty with this in it. Yeah, I've never had a Bloody Mary in my life. Never.
Really?
Not
Even
once.
at brunch?
They're wonderful.
No, I think something happened to me when I was young with tomato juice.
I was saying you got beaten with a V8.
Yeah. Something happened dark, and I
Or
haven't
your mom.
worked that out yet in therapy. Yeah, I mean exactly. So Singani 63.
Wow.
You can get that. You can go to buysingani63.com is the easiest place to get it because it might be difficult to find in certain spots, but you can get it on that website and they'll deliver it anywhere. And again, I think this is some of Soderbergh's best work right here.
What's it retail for?
$37.
Wow.
Not too
Kind of
bad.
exotic too. Kind of a fun thing to have on your bar.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's great.
Yeah, it's definitely a conversation piece, and yeah, I could see how it would mix nicely with a lot of different stuff. I actually just dumped a little my long drink in with it. It's pretty.
And there's
damn
your
good.
mixer.
There's my mixer.
Next up is our old pal Bryan Cranston and Aaron Paul from Breaking Bad a couple of years ago.
I have been waiting forever to try this.
Here it is.
Can I please show you how much of this bottle is gone?
Yeah, let me see this.
This is
Oh my God, Brian.
This is a huge hit in my house. This
Is that
so
a cry for
good.
help?
Was
No,
that
it's
today?
delicious.
Did you do this today before the
No,
show?
this has been under my roof for 10 or 12 days.
So the first time I ever tried mezcal was on the show with Dan Dunn, realized it was incredible. And then when Aaron Paul and Bryan Cranston said they're doing this, and I'm one of the many ultimate Breaking Bad fans, I have been waiting for this moment to try it. I am so excited.
You're in for a treat, Gina.
That's good. Yeah, it is. It's really good mezcal, and they had an idea at dinner in New York. They decided to go down to Oaxaca, a place called San Luis del Rio. This one here we're drinking is made with the espadín, which is the species of agave that makes up about 90% of all mezcal production. So this was aged about 6 years, and just so you know what happens, they take those piñas out, they crush them. They quarter them, they place them in the earth pits, they cook them for a couple of days, 4 days, then they crush them with a Tahona wheel, then they put them into they mash it up, and this thing was about 7 to 10 days of fermentation. Comes a thing called tapache, and then they put it in a copper pot, and they distill it, and then we put it in our mouths. Let's try it.
Dan, it's one of my favorites that you've ever brought to the show. Of all the wines, beers, liquors, whatever, it's got that smokiness, but not as much. It's got more fruitiness to it, and it's awesome. It's really
It's got a little
balanced.
sneaky Pete to it as well. All right, it is
So good.
It is very kind of woody, smoky. Like there's a lot going on. I mean, more going on than any tequila or mezcal. Like you're used to just tequila, good tequila, bad tequila. Sort of strong tequila, weak tequila, but this is something.
Take it over, Dr. Seuss.
Yeah, this is. Yeah, you could drink this on a train.
In a house,
do it in a
with a
box
house.
or the Fox. I mean, this has just got a ton going on, right? Like it's just you taste every part of how they made this, right?
I really do love this. It's really good.
There's been some rum type things that we've had where it tastes like vacation. This tastes like the ultimate camping trip. Like you are out under the stars in the desert having some delicious mezcal. I mean, this is some Calgon take me away shit right here. I love it.
It does have that kind of smoked flavor,
Yes.
by the like the
Absolutely.
difference when you make eggs on an open fire when you're camping and it gets a little of that smokiness in it. Yeah, this is amazing.
Great.
Yeah, they've done a wonderful job with this. This is $60 a bottle.
It's a bargain.
Worth
Honestly,
it.
this is excellent.
I had to talk Brian down. He texted me when he got the bottle, and he said, "I'm dangerously close to finishing this thing." And I said, "You
wasn't
got to save a
joking.
little bit for the segment in 2 weeks." Yeah, and so I'm admire your restraint, man. I'm glad that you left a little in there.
Now it's game on.
Yeah.
Now it's look out.
That's really good.
We'll stay in the agave category real quick here with a tequila called Villa One Tequila. And this is the brainchild of Nick Jonas, the Jonas Brothers, and designer John Barbados. They came up with this one. And this is Villa One Tequila.
Didn't
They
you
have
guys
a silver. Yeah,
you
go ahead.
feel like the Jonas Brothers were this close to going away 7 years ago, and they're just all over the place again?
Bigger than
Yeah,
ever.
I think Nick kind of branched out in like that Justin Timberlake NSYNC kind of way. Like now it's all about Nick Jonas specifically.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
I think he
he's
married a Bollywoodian or
Yes,
something.
she's
And
gorgeous. Priyanka Chopra.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
I love her.
Sorry, which one we going with?
Oh, so I'm going to do the silver. They have a silver Reposado Añejo. Silver's 45. The Reposado's 50. Añejo is 60. Do we remember the rules, Gina? Silver tequila, anything aged under 2 months is silver or blanco, but generally it's never aged in wood. Reposado is 2 months to a year, and then Añejo is anything over a year in the wood. Yep. So there we go. And this one is made by Arturo Fuentes, is the master distiller of this. He was a guy that put Stoli vodka basically kind of on the map, at least in the modern era. And he had a tequila called Cenote tequila, which is very well regarded. So he is the guy making this tequila for Nick Jonas and John Barbados.
Wow.
And let's try it. I'm making it in a margarita here, but I
Have
did
you had
try
this
it.
before, Dan? Is this especially sweet for a reposado, or am I just off?
I think it's after drinking the mezcal.
Might be.
Could be, yeah. I think that's a good point, Gina. And I get a little butterscotch in there. There is like a chocolatey, chocolatey note. Yeah, it does have a sweetness to it, but I don't think it's overly sweet by any means.
I think at the risk of sounding like an asshole, it's very drinkable. Like especially just kind of straight and sipping it.
It's no Indago. that much I can tell you right now.
That's a league of its own.
Yeah.
Hints of vape juice.
It's good. Let's see.
I like it. I mean, it's a good tequila, and for $45, I think it's the right price range for this silver. It's got a nice bottle. John Barbados designed the bottle himself, which is always nice. There's talk about a conversation piece.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I think Gina nailed it. It's a drinkable tequila. There's nothing offensive about this tequila. I think it works really well. I just made this margarita. I think it tastes great in it. And
What is your margarita mix that you go with, Dan? I hate all the syrupy, sappy, whatever. You always just make them up yourself?
Never, ever use a margarita mix. I use
even the high-end
all
stuff?
fresh. No,
You
I don't
all
do it.
bespoke? Well.
I squeeze my limes, put in a little, this has a little agave nectar in there, agave syrup in there, excuse me, and a little bit of simple syrup as well. I put in there. But yeah, that's how I did that one. And then the last but not least, from my old pal, Aisha Tyler.
Level up.
Archer Criminal Minds, Whose Line It Anyway, and of course, Talk Soup. Yours truly
3 times, fool.
That's right. Yours truly was a writer on Talk Soup, so Aisha's my year-old friend. Yeah, I was a writer on Talk Soup. And I'm going to put a couple cherries in here. This is called Courage and Stone. And what it is a line of 80 proof ready-to-drink craft cocktails. So it's ready to pour out of the bottle. It's made at a great spot in Brooklyn, New York. We're going to go, they've got a couple of different things in their portfolio, but we're doing the old-fashioned here, the classic old-fashioned. And again, you pop open the bottle, pour it over ice. You want to put a cherry or two in there if you want. And no preparation needed. Yeah, it's a great-looking bottle. Thick glass topper, which I always appreciate. And
ooh,
old fashions are awesome.
They're great.
This is fun. This is a great one.
Now let's try. Cheers, everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this
and
is
again,
good.
Ready to drink, hit or miss, and way more miss usually with ready to drink cocktails, as I'm sure you guys have experienced. I've had some ready to drink cocktails that it was hard to believe that someone it was the Indago of ready to drink cocktails. No, but this one, I don't even know how they do it. But this to me tastes like an old fashioned that I would have at a great craft cocktail bar that somebody just whipped up right in front of me and slid it across the bar.
Do they?
It's all old fashioned.
So when I was young, they had those club mixers in the ready to mix department. Do you guys remember those cans, those club cans?
Oh, yeah.
That was the only kind of ready to mix. I think they kept them in the refrigerated section of the liquor store.
Oh, you mean like Tom Collins just add booze?
I think it was all mixed in.
Or whatever it was.
I think it was all pre-mixed. They were called, you can look it up, Max Pat. It's like, I don't know, 1980s club can, Pina Colada and Tom Collins and Daiquiri.
You said ready to mix, you mean ready to drink?
Sorry. You're right.
Okay, because I was thinking like a mixer. Okay.
Ready to drink. There were these little cans, and I remember once when I was living in my dad's garage, I went out on a date with this gal who ended up being a porn star, but somehow kept her virtue with me. It's a slap in the face because I grew up in North Hollywood, so it's like I got turned down by I got the fresh, I put my hand on my thigh, and then 7 months later they're just being tag teamed by FM Bradley and Peter North, and I thought to myself, Jesus Christ. So there was this
You masher.
adult pineapple club.
Wow.
I do kind of recognize that, yeah.
Yeah, they were popular. I don't know if they're around today. I don't know what it was probably some stupid thing where they used wine for the alcohol or something dumb, and it was all calories and syrup and 6.1% alcohol or something. It was one of these things where all you did was get fat but never got drunk. But I was out with this gal, and I was living in my dad's garage, and I said, why don't we swing by the garage, and then just hang out a little bit, sort of impromptu style, like we're eating. And she's like, I don't know if that's part of the plan. And I was like, we'll just stop by. Not something I was working on or anything, but we're in the neighborhood. And one of my jack-off friends had known I was going out on a date, and he got a couple of these club mixers, and he put them in like a glass, and he set them out so they were presented to both of us. But then, of course, when the door opened, it looked like this is something I had been planning days in advance, and I couldn't tell him that my jack-off buddies did it. But that was my last recollection of the club. Are they still around, Max Zapata?
I don't know. They don't have a huge internet presence at all.
What?
So
Seeing as how they use the same font as Tab, something shows me they don't exist anymore. And Adam, I don't know if you did this, but I went full Adam after I tasted this, the Courage and Stone, and poured a little long drink in it. Delightful.
Long drink goes with everything.
Long drink, literally, toothpaste, gasoline. It doesn't matter.
Could long drink save indigo? Has anyone tried it yet? Let's try. Let's see.
Hold on.
See. No, all right, I got to do it. I got to pour some in my long drink.
That's going to be like throwing the Mentos into the Pepsi.
The Diet Coke.
The Diet Coke. Yeah, there's going to be it's going to be a volcano. Oh, Jesus, Dan. You're a brave man.
Oh, it weaponizes the strawberry.
Are these ready to drink? So the ready to drinks weren't high alcohol content back in the day, and maybe not even now.
Yeah, this is an 80 proof cocktail.
Right.
All of theirs are 80 proof. Yeah.
Are there many of those out there?
There are a few higher end ready to drink brands. I mean, Courage and Stone's probably the best I've come across in a while. And I mean, this bottle is $750 bottle is $50. So you're going to get, I think, probably, I mean, it depends on how you're pouring, but maybe 12 to 14 drinks out of that.
It's a solid old fashioned.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah,
you don't have to do any work.
It's a good idea.
Yeah, so I dig that. That's Aisha Tyler. And and here's the thing with her. She's really involved in it. And you're going to get that to varying degrees with these celebrity brands. I think certain celebrities, as we know, like Dan Aykroyd is really involved in his. Sammy Hagar was really involved in his. Aisha as well. And then you get the ones like Justin Timberlake had that 901 tequila that he slapped his name on and probably never tried, again. But I appreciate it when they get behind the brand. Cranston, same way. Like he's out, he's doing the work. He's going to cocktail festivals. He's doing what you got to do to push it, and he's got the juice to back it up as well. I mean, it's a great product. So,
most of these were delicious, but we'd be remiss not to give a big shout out to 818 Rye.
Oh yeah, that's mine.
Which is Carolla Drink's new selection of choice.
I don't know if they're all sold out though now.
Yeah, so they only had one. Gina, so they only had one thing of 818, like one run. Yeah, exactly. So I think those are all sold out.
And then the Kardashians shut us down.
Yeah.
So listen, throw those peasants a couple of crumbs. Let them see if they can make ends meet. What do we need the money for? Yeah, I always think about that because I know Sammy Hagar a little bit and his son Aaron, and they're really good dudes. But years ago, and I've told you guys about this, I don't think I've told Dan, but yeah, you got to get out there like P. Diddy did with Ciroc. P. Diddy, that brand, that vodka brand was around for years and not doing anything. And then they kind of gave it to P. Diddy, and then P. Diddy was everywhere all the time and got that, into a multi-million dollar company. But the Sammy Hagar thing, I remember years ago, they were, I was watching one of those Saturday afternoon shows, and it was like celebrity hobbies. And they had, this guy likes to ride dirt bikes, and that guy over there he likes to do pottery. And it's like, and Sammy Hagar, the Red Rocker, what's your hobby? And he's like, cooking with beach bum tequila. And he's like holding the bottle up. And I remember thinking at the time, like, I don't think cooking with tequila is a hobby. He's like, you can put tequila on deviled eggs. You can put tequila, you can make tequila pot, make tequila scrambled eggs. He's like just standing there like dumping, he's holding the label out, and he's dumping the tequila on everything. And I thought, that's not riding a dirt bike or, building ships and bottles. And he was pimping this shit a long time ago, and then later on sold it for $800 million or whatever he did.
He sold
Cabo Wabo,
Wabo
right.
tequila, I think for $130 million, but that was a lot of money back. It still is, but back when he did it. Interesting. A funny thing with Sammy, I met him a few times over the years, and then when my book Living Loaded came out, maybe almost 10 years ago, Jesus, I reached out to somebody from the brand, and I said, hey, is it possible to get a blurb for the jacket? Do you think Sammy would do that? I'm like, yeah, sure. We'll ask him. And they did. They sent me a great quote back. And so about 2-3 years ago, I was up at the San Francisco World Spirits Competition, and I was on judging a contest with Sammy. And afterwards I said, hey man, I don't know if I ever got a chance to thank you for that, the blurb for the book. And he goes, oh yeah, no, I'll do it. When do you need it? I said, no, it was it already happened. It was a book that I wrote called Living Loaded. And he goes, oh, yeah, no, great book.
That's Adam with the text from Dickie.
That's right.
I was like, okay. But in fairness, I've given a few blurbs myself, and I don't think I've ever read the books. You read like a page and you go, all right, there you go.
All right, well, this is...
Adam read it.
Yes, I did read it. I remember...
You did read it. You're the only famous person that read
I remember exactly where I was. I was on a long flight, and I now want to say Philadelphia, but I think that's where you grew up, right?
That's where I grew up. Yeah.
Right. So I think I made it a Philadelphia. I was probably flying to New York or D.C. or something, but I did read Dan's book, Living Loaded, and I was entertained the entire flight. And anyone who knows me knows I never read a book on a flight. So recommended reading. All right, let me hit Geico. Do you rent your home? Well, sure, you do one or the other. How about you get your bundle on, you get your automotive policy and put it together with your homeowners and renters insurance, and you do it at Geico, geico.com. You go there, you get a quote, you see just how much you could save when you bundle at geico.com. Geico makes it so easy. So visit geico.com today and get your bundle on at geico.com. Dan, you want to hang out with us and do some Rotten Tomatoes?
Yes, please.
All right, we'll take a quick break. We'll be back with Rotten Tomatoes right after this.
Listen to that noise. It's a high falsetto voice that can only mean one thing, and you can feel it.
Gossip names are flicks, and the gang makes their picks, guessing if it's rotten or fresh.
If they guess it exactly, we'll get a bonus 5.
It's the Rotten Tomatoes game. You know how we do it. Give me the Rotten Tomatoes game. Now it's time to play it.
All right, so today, in honor of Dan Dunn's appearance, the Rotten Tomatoes game is based on our profiling of various celebrity-owned booze companies, just like we did. So we need Brian back. He can still guess the movie, though, I guess. We begin with Bryan Cranston, who coincidentally is celebrating his 65th birthday on this day that we are recording this. In addition to co-creating Dos Hombres Mezcal, Brian has not only appeared in many notable movies, he's also lent his voice. A couple years ago, he was one of the many stop-motion animated dogs left exiled on Trash Island, joined by other voice actors like Edward Norton, Scarlett Johansson, and Bill Murray. Directed by Wes Anderson from 2018, Isle of Dogs.
I don't remember this.
I don't either.
It's the drinks we've had, the celebrities.
I did, and my son has been going through all the directors and trying to watch all the movies, and I think I told you guys we sort of got into the Wes Anderson stuff, and he started plowing through them, and I was like, pass, no, you don't have to see Darjeeling Limited or pass, and he kept, and then at a certain point I went, you don't need to see any Wes Anderson movies. That's what I realized. But I never really thought about it until it was presented to me by a 14-year-old boy. But I don't know. Brian, make your defense of Wes Anderson.
No,
He won't.
You'll be very surprised, perhaps. But I do not like Wes Anderson. I find him very repetitive, very tedious. What was the one that was almost? It was the favorite to win Best Picture. It was the hotel movie. It was.
I saw that one.
Hungary or something.
Some sort of hotel movie.
The Grand Budapest Hotel.
Right.
Yes,
that movie.
I saw that.
Fuck all his movies.
I love that movie.
I hate the forced irreverence. I hate the silliness. I hate it all. That said, I like Fantastic Mr. Fox. Really good movie. I liked Royal Tenenbaums.
But you didn't like Rushmore.
Rushmore was fine. It's fine.
What?
Fine.
Rushmore is just overrated. That's really the
it's a good
problem with
movie. It's like
Rushmore.
Little Miss Sunshine. It's a good movie. It was maybe got a little too much love at the time.
Right.
Rushmore was the first Wes Anderson movie I ever saw, so it's not like I was tired of it by then.
You should watch Election the next time you're thinking about watching Rushmore. All right. So I have no idea about this Isle of Dogs. It's got a lot of
stop motion. Yeah, same as Mr. Fox. It's the same animation.
Got a lot of recognizable. Oh, God, I have zero idea. All I know is we must beat Brian.
Oh boy.
All right.
This doesn't look like a kid's movie.
It's not.
Okay.
Well, I mean, it is. I guess. I don't know.
All right. Let's see. Let's all lock it in, and then we'll ask Dan to go first.
Okay.
I'm gonna say. All right, Dan.
What the score is?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm going to say 77.
77. Gina.
72.
Adam. 57.
I went higher. Actually, this is one of my favorite Wes Anderson
Oh,
movies.
no.
It's not that great. It's 80. I said 83.
Oh, no.
I Love Dogs is certified fresh at 90%.
Wow. I'm actually surprised by that.
After all
Never
that,
heard of it.
90%. And no one's even heard of
This is
it.
actually pretty good.
And the audience liked it, 87.
Yeah, it's good.
Well, speaking of dogs, next up is Snoop Dogg. The gin and juice rapper recently put his money where his mouth is and helped craft the recipe for Indigo gin.
That's right.
But prior to that, he co-starred as Huggy Bear in an adaptation of the 70s hit TV series, co-starring Ben Stiller and Owen Wilson from 2004, Starsky and Hutch.
Yeah, I think I saw bits and pieces of this. I watched a show when it was on TV back in the day. I've been watching reruns on Cozy TV. I think it's COZY. It's insane what used to pass for entertainment back then. But there's something kind of interesting about it. I don't know why you'd need to remake this thing, but it was sort of had some laughs. And so, Dan, you want to go first?
I'll say 52%.
I don't remember this movie that well. I remember there's a dance-off scene where I think Patton Oswalt is the MC and he calls it a disco Vietnam. That's literally all I remember. I said 49.
Brian?
It's not very good. A couple of laughs, but overall pretty bad. I'm right with Dan at 57.
I had 57 written down for the last movie, and I thought to myself, man, that seems like it's good for this one, too.
Oh.
Starsky and Hutch is fresh. At 62%.
Oh,
62.
shit.
62.
And the people had it at 49. Very rare
Would've been
that a
good.
movie like this is higher with the critics than with the people.
Pretty dull. I remember being not very fun.
Also, when you watch the beginning of Starsky and Hutch, it's sort of like, when you were a little kid and you had a neighbor that had a swimming pool, and you'd go in the neighbor's swimming pool and you'd go, God, it was such a huge swimming pool with this super deep end. And then you come back as an adult and the pool's small and the deep end is shallow.
Yeah.
That's the kind of thing, all these, like, when I watch Starsky and Hutch, I watch Starsky and Hutch, I watched a Bionic Woman, I watched a Bionic Man, and I watch Charlie's Angels. It's all on Cozy TV. And the beginning of Starsky and Hutch, when I was a kid, it's like they got that souped up Gran Torino. That thing's hauling ass around town. You see the actual beginning of Starsky and Hutch, it's just pretty much bone stock Gran Torino, like piece of shitbox Ford from the 70s with the, V8 that was cranking out all of 165 horsepower and leaf spring suspension and like big sloppy American like drum brakes and everything. And the thing just kind of comes around the corner and it's like you can see it leaning, like there's no suspension on this thing. It's going 18 miles an hour as it comes around the corner and just sort of peels out and goes straight. And when I was a kid, it was like, oh yeah, that's so boss. Look at that thing. But it was really just a stupid paint job on a piece of shit American car, and it was barely even moving when it came around the corner. So that's all we needed back then. Just this sound of tires screeching and a guy's driving a Gran Torino and a cool paint job. I mean, think how much mileage they got, pardon the pun, from the Starsky and Hutch car, the A-Team van, and the Dukes of Hazzard.
Yeah, the General Lee.
The General Lee.
Half the show right
These are
there.
just fucking barely custom paint jobs. Just barely. There's minimalistic custom paint jobs with some shitty rims you could have gotten at the fucking Pep Boys. And we were like, oh, so cool. But it was really just a vacuum of entertainment. I mean, there was nothing else going on in our lives.
Yeah, no competitors.
That's right. All right, sorry.
All right, well, you might know that Nick Jonas is a singer and dancer. He's got the Jonas Brothers, but like all celebrities who want to be richer, diversity is the name of the game. In addition to co-founding Villa One Tequila, Nick Jonas has also been popping up in movies for over a decade. More recently, he appeared in this World War II epic about the Battle of Midway, co-starring Patrick Wilson, Woody Harrelson, and Dennis Quaid from 2019, Midway.
Oh, God.
So probably the last movie I saw in the movie theater, because I think my son wanted to see it. I love a war movie. We drove out to, Pasadena or something and saw this, and I think this was the last time I sat inside a movie theater.
Wait a second. I'm confused between this and Dunkirk. Which one has Tom Hardy? Because I've never seen either. Which one has Tom Hardy like flying through the whole movie?
That's Dunkirk.
That's Dunkirk.
Okay. All right.
This movie is perfectly serviceable, but the lead guy has this weird Brooklyn kind of affect, accent, dialect thing that is kind of distracting. And I don't know if he's an English. I think we found out he was an English actor, which made it worse or something. Do we remember talking about this, Brian?
It sounds familiar. I'm not going to obviously look it up right now because the score might pop up, but that does sound familiar. He was having trouble with the accent.
It was like this really weird. He was way over the top. The dialogue was way over the top. Other than that, it was like serviceable and kind of fun. And, if you like World War II stuff.
Who's the actor, Dawson? Anyone?
Ed Skrein.
Is he English?
Yeah, he's English.
What else is he in? That name sounds so familiar.
He was Dario Naharis in Game of Thrones, Gina.
Thank you.
And he was doing this like, come on, yous guys. Like he was like a Bowery boy, like super 40s Bowery boy kind of thing. And it was totally distracting to me almost the whole time.
He was a newsie.
Yes.
Each of those characters had to play real people in life. And that guy, yeah, he did really take it to a...
Yeah, little distracting, but perfectly fun to watch, and lots of explosions and CGI, and based on a true story.
Why does Woody Harrelson look just like Anderson Cooper?
Yeah, Woody's got a nice piece going. Fun movie, but it's not going to get any love from the critics. I'm going to write my score in. Dan Dunn, how say you?
I'm going to say 46.
Oh.
I kept it at 57. I've not drawn a new number yet.
I said barely fresh at 66.
Yeah, total shot in the dark. I have not seen this. 44.
Oh.
Midway is rotten at 41.
Whoa! I have lost. I'm not going to be on the podium.
Yeah, the audience has it at 92. This is also these things, these kind of America First movies also kind of take a hit with the critics these days, because this is a 41 with the. It wasn't great, but it was fine, and the audience at 92. All right.
Well, just after breaking through to mainstream audiences with his lead role in the outstanding drumming film Whiplash, actor Miles Teller starred in this adaptation of a popular comic book series. While an initial Fantastic Four film was a bomb back in 2005, 10 years later they tried it again with a hip new cast and updated special effects. Miles Teller, now the co-owner of a Finnish-inspired canned spirit drink called Long Drink, teams up with Michael B. Jordan, Kate Mara, and Jamie Bell to form 2015's Fantastic Four.
They have tried so fucking hard to make Fantastic Four a thing over the year or the decades.
Yes. Still not a thing, right?
Still not a thing. No one gives two shits about the Fantastic Four as it pertains to cinema. I'm sure there's comic book fans that like it a lot.
And they're part of the Marvel-verse.
I think they would have liked them to be.
Okay.
Who's the big guy in the back?
Rock guy.
Rock
Jamie
guy?
Bell, I think.
The Thing.
Oh, that's the thing.
The character. Right? Dan?
Yeah.
Yeah, and Jamie Bell's the actor playing him.
I had a whole thing when I was a kid. I was like, G.I. Joe's, gay, Cub Scouts, gay, comic books, gay. It was all just gay to me. Like, I don't know, this bunch of guys wearing tight shit, wrestling with each other. Let's go out and chuck some dirt clods at each other, or like eggs at cars or something. Anything's better than sitting home and looking at this weird gay erotica.
Yeah, that's gay. Let's go wrestle each other in the front yard with our shirts off and whip our dicks out and pee on each other.
Excuse me, we wrestled nude.
Oh, see, my mistake.
Well, we were only nude. I mean, I got to give it some context. We had our friend Tom had a swimming pool with a long diving board that extended out, 5-6 feet over the water. And at night we'd have these kind of gladiator wrestling parties. And the deal was you had to stand at the end of the diving board and your challenger had to walk down the diving board and you would wrestle, and whoever hit the water first lost. Right. Or hopefully not at all. The real win was throwing a guy off and you were still standing there, semi-tumescent at the end of the board. But we didn't have our swim trunks, so we just did it, in the nude. Or as Richard Dreyfuss would say in Goodbye Girl,
in the buff.
A buffo.
A buffo, yes.
Thank you. Now who's gay?
You, I guess.
Oh, that's right. I mean, yeah. Now who's gay? Now who's gay? Hold on. Now who is gay? Wait, let me try to figure
that again.
Right now, I'm gay. That's what I meant. Yes. Because you probably saw Goodbye Girl 28 times.
Yeah, I've seen it many times.
There's a handful of those kind of movies that were all over, 1980 and something, and they're gone. They never show up on cable. You ever see that movie, Brian?
No, I don't even. Is it a musical?
No.
It's a
a
Neil
comedy.
Simon thing, I think.
It
Right?
is. And to your point, the first time I saw it was at the Turner Classic Movies Film Festival.
Now, who
So
is
it is not-
gay? Now, who's gay? No.
Was it
now,
a group
who is
decision,
gay?
though?
Yeah.
Was it a group decision to not wear pants, not to wear swim trunks? Or did one guy in the group come in and go, hey, guys, I forgot my trunks, so everybody's got to strip down? Or did you guys get together and say, let's not wear any clothes
talk about the
while we
movie?
wrestle?
Swim trunks were kind of a luxury item. Like most guys I knew didn't have. They had their underwear and they had cutoffs,
Oh.
So no, we would show up at Tom's house at night and no one had their swim trunks with them. And so, and also it had a little bit of a tip of the sack to the old gladiators. That's how they would have done it in the Roman days. So yeah, we went naked. Mm-hmm. Less to dry. All right. What movie?
Fantastic Four.
Now who's gay?
Now, who is gay? What do you think, Gina, just between you and I, what do you think The Goodbye Girl with Richard Dreyfuss and what's
Like a
her
side
name?
bet in poker?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A side pot?
Who was the gal in that?
I can picture her right in front. Do you have any bicarbonate?
Yeah, she was
What was
hot
in the-
for like
Yeah.
a few years.
Yes. The hell
Comedic
was her
actress
name?
that will never, probably may not be alive.
But you'll know the name. I can't think of it.
Yes.
But are
And-
you trying to guess the tomato score?
Yeah, I'm gonna say. I'm gonna put the one in the like 77.
Oh, I'm going to go higher. I'll say 87.
Max Pat, a side bet.
Side pot for the win.
Winner wins the game.
That'd be great because I'm definitely last right now.
Neil Simon's The Goodbye Girl with Richard Dreyfuss is. And what year is that?
It is 1977.
1977.
Fresh at 84%.
Oh, Gina
Okay,
Grad,
now
everybody.
who's gay?
Audience
Now,
also
who is gay?
84%.
No, who now is gay?
What's her name? You're looking at her picture.
Marsha Mason.
Marsha
Thank
Mason.
you.
Wow.
Mason,
Wow,
Mason,
Dan.
Mason. It's also one of the rare movies that is 84 with the critics and 84 with the audience, which suggests to me everyone got it right.
Yeah.
All right. This could be a
Fantastic
separator.
Four.
Fantastic Four.
I have no clue.
Is Marsha Mason still alive, Max Zapata?
Side bet.
I couldn't for sure tell you how that is.
She is 78 years old.
Marsha Mason was in a ton of these kind of like rom-com-y things as the single mom or the whomever. Fantastic Four. All right. Brian's ahead. We got to go bold.
I have no idea.
I have no idea. I did not see it. I am locked in. Dan Dunn.
I didn't see it either, but I'll just based on the movie poster, I'm going to say 36%.
Shit.
Mm-hmm. Gina.
I have no idea. Although we did binge WandaVision, and I know nothing about comic books, but that was a great show. I'm going with Adam Carolla's tried and true 57.
I won exceedingly low, I thought, at 42.
I think I went exceedingly low. I've not seen this, but I'm aware this not good. 23.
Ooh.
And again, I don't know. Could be 4.
Fantastic Four. Not so fantastic. It is rotten at 9.
Oh, wow.
Considering going single digits, but I was
Oh
like, no.
my God.
You don't see a lot of movies that are, I don't know, over an $80 million budget that are in
yeah.
single digits.
Here's how you know how bad it is. Marvel would have for sure incorporated this into the Marvel universe had this been decent, had it been acceptable. It's a disaster.
This could be, but it had to be a high budget film, right?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna say $100 million movie.
Wikipedia says 120 to 155.
Yeah, they have
120
CGI characters. They have CGI. People are entirely CGI.
120 to 155 in single digits. Wow. Never thought I'd live to see that day. Wow. Brian increased this lead.
Yeah, I'm not even on the podium. But I will tell you guys actually, because I was thinking about you for WandaVision. And again, I don't know anything about the backstory, but the series would be really fun to watch with Sunny and Natalia. Each episode mimics all the tropes from a certain TV genre. So the first couple episodes are all very Dick Van Dyke, Donna Reed. The second one, or the third one is Brady Bunch. Then it's, I want to say Family Ties, Malcolm in the Middle, Modern Family, and Charmed. And they're all you'll know exactly what they're mimicking. It's actually a pretty clever show.
Where's that at? Where do we find that?
On Disney Plus.
Oh, Disney Plus.
Called WandaVision. And I don't know anything about, was she from the movie, Brian?
Yeah, she played
Wanda and Vision.
Scarlet Witch.
Yeah. I didn't know any of that, and I was still very entertained by the show.
All right, here we go. Is this the last one?
This is the last one. Director Steven Soderbergh is not just a director. In many of his films, he also serves as the writer, producer, cinematographer, and editor. Not surprising, then, that he's been super involved with bringing a Bolivian spirit to American drinkers. And in fact, the development of Singani 63 first began when a casting director handed Soderbergh a bottle to celebrate the first day of shooting of the biographical epic Che. The film stars Benicio del Toro as Che Guevara. And while it was originally screened as a 257-minute movie, it was eventually split in half and released as two different films, Part 1 and Part 2.
Really? I didn't actually know that.
And if you want to win this week's Rotten Tomatoes game, you're going to have to give us the scores for both of them.
Oh, what?
From 2008, Che Part 1 and Che Part 2.
Wow.
I didn't even know there were two parts to this movie.
All right. Brian has an insurmountable lead, but we must play anyway because we owe it to all who came before us.
That's right.
In the Rotten Tomatoes game and the rich heritage. So this had to be horrible. I don't know. I've never seen it.
Why did it have to be horrible?
I don't know. I just feel like if I haven't heard of it, I'm a dick. If there's some band I haven't heard of, I assume they're bad. If some food I haven't heard of, I assume it's bad. Everything I haven't heard of, except for restaurants, then I'm intrigued. You know what I mean?
Oh, and wasn't the Motorcycle Diaries about Che Guevara? And people loved that movie, right, Brian?
Yeah. Yes, I guess. I have not seen any of the films mentioned in the last half hour.
I think Che Guevara is sort of a hero to some of the woke critics out there, so maybe it's going to get a little woke bump. I'm going to let Dan Dunn go first.
I know what we're talking about, and I'm going to guess that this movie it's Steven Soderbergh. Critics love him. I'm going to say 80%.
Wait, you have two. There's Part 1, there's Part 2.
I don't know if you can hear us. Let's just say 80 for both.
All right, 80 for both. Gina Grad.
I know I haven't seen a movie we've talked about, so I think this is me playing it safe again. I don't even think I made the podium. Che 173, Che 269.
Ball Brian.
Yeah, it's Soderbergh, so I think there's a floor. You know what I mean? Like they're not going to let him get into rotten territory. I don't think so. I've not heard of these either, so I went 66 and 67.
I went very high because I got a lot of making up to do at 87 and 83.
Ooh.
Che Part 1 is fresh at 68.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
That's a good game.
Che Part 2 is certified fresh.
Wow.
At 79%.
Wow. All right. Both
I
fresh.
think Dan Dunn might win this game.
Gina, please.
I think Bald has an insurmountable lead.
Dare to dream.
All right.
Gina Grad.
Yeah.
Consistent, if nothing else. You have made the podium.
Oh, okay. Wow. That's great.
Congratulations. Gina Grad.
Yeah.
I'm not going to tell you your score yet.
Okay.
Dan Dunn coming in with a 68.
Wow.
I'll tell Danny one.
It's not
I'm
bad.
telling him.
Dan, can you hear us? 68. Yeah.
68.
That's goddamn respectable.
He's cheering.
He's cheering.
Adam Carolla, you missed the podium by 1 point. 110. Gina Grad, 109.
Oh. Wow.
Gina Grad, that puts you on the podium and leaving us bald. Brian, I am sorry, bald.
Me too.
I'm just sorry that you won the game. 43.
Good. Damn. That's quite a range.
Did you write that before the show?
What? Yeah.
Did you write that before the show?
I'm the great Kreskin.
Brian needs to slow his roll. I mean, he's won. Is this 6 in a row or
No, you won the live show, which didn't count, obviously. But
Exhibition game.
Oh, did I win that live show?
Someone's gonna have to do the math on how many it's been.
Brian's on a roll. All right. Let's see. Dan.
Let's just wave at Dan.
Dunn, can you hear us? I'll give him a plug. Bye, Dan Dunn. Thank you.
Bye.
I'll give you a plug, buddy.
Cheers, buddy.
All right, let me hit LifeLock. If you use a free VPN for increased privacy online, you may want to reconsider. Free VPNs could harvest data and expose your personal information. It's important to understand how cybercrime and identity theft are affecting our lives. In an instant, cyber criminals could take your money, credit, and reputation. Good thing there's LifeLock. LifeLock detects a wide range of identity threats like your social security number for sale on the dark web. If they detect your information has potentially been compromised, they'll send you an alert and give you access to a dedicated restoration specialist. It's 2021, people. Protect yourself and do it with a LifeLock. Right, Dawson?
No one can prevent all identity theft or monitor all transactions at all businesses, but you can keep what's yours with LifeLock Identity Theft Protection. Join now and save up to 25% off your first year at LifeLock.com with promo code ADAM. That's 25% off at LifeLock.com, promo code ADAM.
All right, let's take a quick break. We'll come back and do the news with Gina Grad right after this.
Give me the news with Grad. News with Gina Grad. Breaking, viral, weird crime, protest, politics. Give me news with Gina Grad. Stuff they saw on TMZ. Joe Biden, Kamala. Meet news with Gina Grad.
The news with Gina Grad.
Well, we have some good news on the horizon if hopefully things keep trending the way they're supposed to. And let's kick off the desk of the crowd corner. So Disneyland may reopen soon, as early as April 1st, under new reopening guidelines released Friday by public health officials. So the updated reopening guidelines allow theme parks in California to reopen at 15%.
Can I say this? I was watching the news today, and they're doing that thing where they're like, the All-Star game has come to Atlanta. While there are no spectators at the All-Star game, people are still here reveling and going to bars and nightlife, and they're having a good time out here. And then they went to the 60-year-old Karen Shrew with the mask on, and she's like, we've come this far. What's wrong with a few more months? Eat a fucking bullet, would you, bitch? What's wrong with a few more months? Like, what's wrong with a few more months? It was going to be 2 weeks to flatten the curve a year ago. She's like, what's wrong? What's wrong with this? Why don't we just keep it going? Just a few more months? Like, we've already gone this far. Yes, you've locked down for a fucking year. You've wasted a year of your fucking life. What's wrong with a few more months? I don't know. What's wrong with a few more after that, you crazy coos? Jesus Christ, how do we talk so many people into being fucking pussies in such a short period of time?
I don't mean to argue with you, but I think you heard them wrong. It was 52 weeks to flatten the curve.
Yeah. But we've come this far. Right. There's no finish line for this. Hold on. There's no finish line for the frightened. Ooh. They fucking love fear.
No rest
for
the wicked.
They love it. And by the way, you know what they fear the most? People that aren't pussies. They fear the most people that aren't fearful. They're like, why aren't you scared? Because I'm not a pussy. That's why I'm not scared, but I'm scared. I live my life in fear. I cower. Why don't you cower? Because I don't choose to live my life that way. Well, you have shamed me because you're not cowering with me. Okay, now I'm angry at you. The only time the fucking fearful people turn to anger is when other people won't be fearful with them. Ugh, yuck.
This is going to be a great April Fool's Day joke.
Yeah, right. I can tell you, I am going to make this opening I would say part-time job, but I can elevate it to full-time job because we have 2 unused Disneyland tickets because we were supposed to take the little one for his birthday last year and we'll just pay for a third. But they're still good because the park closed before we got to use them. Wow. So I'm going to make it my mission to get on this list where there is only 15% of the park at capacity. VIP day. Oh my God. I've got to get in while we're still at the red tier.
We couldn't have done this 9 fucking months ago.
Yes,
the whole place is outdoors.
Yes.
It's fucking nuts. It's weird. I don't know. You know, it's weird because you think like something like Disney is such a massive corporation. Like, don't they wield any power? Don't they have any say in this state? Like, they are getting bowled over by the fucking Yentas and the city council who contribute nothing to the tax base. Like, that's it.
Even more interesting by Newsom, who you'd think they'd be best friends.
Because they hold sway, I'm sure, over Orange County. I'm sure over Anaheim. I wonder how much they can pull. Well, also, keep in mind, it just occurred to me, they are fucking, trust me, killing it with Disney Plus. That has been an incredible windfall for them. So I wonder if it's almost like don't rock the boat kind of thing. Like, yeah, like we're kind of breaking even though we're losing on all this incredible, money from theme parks. Like, they're killing it with Disney Plus.
I don't know. I just figure, lobbyists and rich people and big corporations with a lot of sway, they just don't seem to have any juice in this state.
No.
For
Elon,
for an entity that's been around for 65 years, and
they got to be one of the largest employers in the state, right?
They were.
I think they were one of the largest employers
what I'm saying,
in the
full
state.
capacity.
Yeah. Also, you know how
By the way, what's going to happen January fucking 1st? That's so different than now. Do we know?
April 1st.
Oh, sorry, April 1st. Do we know
the reopening date?
Yeah. What's different? Is there something different?
Barbara Ferrer sees her shadow, and we're taking down.
Oh no! Well, the obvious answer is that Gavin Newsom's had a fire under his ass, right? From the
That's
recall.
true.
Effort.
Yes, he's getting recalled.
Yeah,
yes.
he's motivated.
And Adam, as a woman, I joined the ranks of canine hydration disorder, and I worry about God. I hope no animal was in that car when it flipped over. A conversation that I struck up with a cashier at Ralph's the other day. We're talking about Disneyland. She had a little Disney pin, and I said, "You might think I'm crazy for worrying about this, but there are a lot of feral cats at Disneyland, and they rely." And she goes, "Just say no more. I've looked into it. The cats are fine. There is an outreach rescue group."
Hold on.
Everybody
She sounds hot. Yes. And by the way, I don't want to correct you, but Barbara Ferrer does not cast the shadow like Beelzebub.
Oh, really? Vampire.
Yes,
so
she's a
shocked.
fucking
I
vampire. She's a succubus.
That was fake news. Sorry.
Yes.
Well, you're not going to like this, but there is an update on the the Olympic Games in Tokyo this summer. Likely will have a true hometown advantage because Japanese athletes will obviously be there, and people who live in Japan can be there. Foreign spectators not allowed. Organizers of the rescheduled 2020 games, which are set to begin July 23rd, say due to the ongoing pandemic, it's impossible to bring foreign spectators. An official decision is expected to be made soon. The exclusion of foreign visitors isn't a surprise, but the Japanese public has been opposed to hosting the Olympics. And the main sticking point has been the influx of tourists. And that's usually, that's a windfall. Yeah, that's not happening.
I was thinking about the bobsled team the other day. And I was thinking, whoever figured out the bobsled teams or the sled teams kind of reminds me of my same argument I have with the bra cup size.
Oh, God.
Go on.
Well, they got the A cup, B cup, C cup, D cup, double D cup, Triple D cup. E cup. And it's like, why not?
Gina, please, the men are talking.
Right. But why not just keep moving through the cups? Why did we stop and keep doubling down?
Because I don't want to be a Q. That's why.
I got it. But yeah, maybe that's it. I mean, maybe it's like no 13th floor on a high rise or something. But you think about the bobsled, they got the luge. They got the skeleton. They got I think it's the luge. It's the one-manner. They got the one-manner.
I think it's the luge.
Yeah, the luge, skeleton, luge. I don't know if it's the same thing, but it's the one. It's head first. It's the one. Then they got the 2-man, and then they go the 4-man. What happened to the fucking third guy? Then I mean, they just go right on through. Go to 4, but give me a 3. You got 1. You got 2. Give me 3. No. Too good for you. You scoot right to 4. What's the argument for 4? What do you need 2 guys doing nothing in between the guy who's steering and the guy who's braking? Why not have 1 guy doing nothing in between the guy who's steering and the guy who's braking? Why did it get to 4?
So good?
Well, yeah. Why is it even at 4? Why not 3? I don't. And don't give me
is there some superstition maybe of the nation that invented it.
I don't know. It's like it's not an odd number situation because you start with the single guy, you go with the 2-man, then you hop to the 4, and then you cut it off there. But I'd like to see a 3-manner. So I'm just putting that out there. Sorry. What were we talking about?
I'm not seeing any quick answers. So I don't know if you guys have seen this on any basketball yet, but because of all the coronavirus mess, they're not doing kiss cams because that's sending the wrong message. So they're doing the hand sanitizer cam.
Yeah.
That shit is borderline X-rated.
Pornographic.
So the Milwaukee Bucks tried it and it was kind of a disaster. It was hilarious on social media. Up on the Jumbotron, which some call the Cumbotron, was a giant bottle of hand sanitizer squirting onto people. And they were encouraged to rub their hands together instead of kiss. And it looks like ejaculate. In one clip that I didn't pull, there's like a teenage boy like opening his mouth and like, ah, and they're like, okay. But the one that's really getting attention is this girl, this poor, unassuming, pretty girl.
Oh no, she's cockeyed.
Yeah, they're calling it the Cumbotron. They're saying that the sanitizer cam is hornier than the kiss cam. Here's the clip that's going around.
Oh, yeah. Well, what?
There she is.
I don't think she's into it.
Well, he's firing. They're firing at the tits, but
yeah,
they had to kind of see this one coming, didn't they?
I was gonna say,
pardon the pun. Then also, I know there's a lot of hand sanitizing and wiping down stuff, but how big a difference is it? If we figure that one out, like I went and visited my mom. I told you yesterday, my stepdad was wearing the rubber gloves.
Oh,
wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
A lot of people would say, did you ask why? Fuck no. Really? Don't want to get into that. No. But he was wearing the latex gloves. We're outside the entire time. So I don't even want to know. I don't know. I don't know how that works. But he's wearing the gloves. Everyone's wiping everything down. I know everyone's washing their hands with me. Is it airborne? How much of it is like touchy stuff? Like we have figured out that it was a fool's errand to wipe down all the Grubhub bags that came in the grocery bags and all that, right?
Yes, but and I noticed this anecdotally, and I think this, there's obviously data to back it up. The flu's way down. People are doing these things, and it keeps you safe from other stuff. And I think when it comes to your hands, it's all about touching your face. So biting your nails, rubbing your eyes, that's the kind of thing. Which, by the way, you rub your eyes with a dirty latex glove, and it's the same as not.
Yeah, well, don't tell John, my stepdad.
Okay,
but. For me, I filed this all under the time Dr. Drew and I were at the hotel with the prom in 1999, somewhere in the Midwest, and the fire alarm went off at 3 in the morning, and everyone just was piling out on the lawn in the freezing morning air, and I just sort of looked out the window and I went, I'm going to hang in my room. And then I had a thought, well, what if there's a fire? And I was like, yeah. They'll throw a chair through the window. I'll break my ankles, but
You'll make it out.
I think one of those kids at the prom pulled that thing. So I'm going to hang out in my underwear in my room. And there was Drew in his bathrobe, his socks walking out in the lawn, dutifully walking out on the lawn. And guess who's over the moon about never going out on the lawn? This podcaster. I feel the same way about wiping everything down that came in the house. Glad I didn't waste my time with that. Mm-hmm.
Well, this story takes a couple of twists and turns, and I couldn't wait to bring it up because it is directly from the HuffPo. So strap in. We've been talking about not so much cancel culture, but, things being sexist and racist, and that's the best way to shut people up. I have a great example for you. So Senator Krysten Sinema, that name has been going around the past few days, Democrat from Arizona. She faced some big criticism Friday afternoon for the way, not only for her vote, but the way she voted against a provision to gradually raise the federal minimum wage to $15 an hour. She voted no, which disappointed a lot of Democrats. And I'll show you the clip in a second. She kind of she goes to the front. She has her purse on, and she kind of does a big thumbs down with a little curtsy, like a little cutesy bop when she says no, and that bothered people. Huffington Post reports that although the hand gestures are commonplace, especially when wearing masks, it seemed a little much to do the extra little dance.
Still flippant.
Yeah. So when the Huffington Post reached out to Sinema to offer a response about, this gesture upsetting people, her spokesperson replied saying, commentary about a female senator's body language, clothing, or physical demeanor does not belong in a serious media outlet.
Go on the offense.
Wow.
And I'm going to show you the clip. I mean, I don't know if you saw it already.
I didn't
see it. But here's the clip. I mean, and it's not overly egregious. It's just a little flippant, like Brian said. Here she comes.
Walks. She's got her mask on.
Miss Sinema. No.
Like an extra little bop in the knee.
Yeah.
And you're like, why did you have to? And would you like to comment? Would you like to respond? Commenting on a female's body language does not belong in a serious media outlet.
Well, here's the kind of problem with the climate that we're crafting for our modern day society. If you are in a group, if you're black or Hispanic or female or gay or lesbian, or if you're in that group, then fuck it. You'll just play that card every single time. Why wouldn't you? Because we've crafted a society where we've decided that we're all in against everybody who isn't, white and heterosexual and over 6 foot tall. So why not play that card? It's the easiest fucking card to play. I mean, that's what kids do. That's how kids go through life. You give them a kind of an out. They go, the PE coach hated me, and that's why I didn't get a whatever. You're right. But don't you think that response, folding in on a request from the Huffington Post, is it's like our society is imploding, like the snake is eating its tail? Oh, yeah. Jimmy Kimmel was saying on his monologue the other day, he was saying, look, going after Dr. Seuss and Mr. Potato Head is the surest way to get Trump a second term. Fucking knock it off, nut jobs. You're nutty. Stop going after everybody. Stop calling everything a racist incident or sexual. You're going to get Trump. You're going to get Trump back if you keep going down this fucking road, because you just lose everybody. It's like, I was talking to Dr. Drew over the weekend. I was like, Drew, remember 20 years ago when PETA would make a statement and you would fucking listen? And now PETA makes a statement, you're like, oh, blah, blah, who cares? You know what I mean? Or the ACLU, if the ACLU would have a statement, you'd listen. Now it's like, who the fuck cares?
It's a tune-up factor.
Yes, don't keep going. Don't keep going down this road. I oftentimes cite this, but it's a really good indicator, which is, I always tell you that Dennis Prager had this fake news story that the ACLU is going after the lowercase t on the typewriter because it looks too much like the cross, which when he said it 8 years ago was absurd and everyone would start laughing. Wouldn't sound absurd today at all, would it?
If Gina had it in her news, it'd be like, really? Wow.
Yeah, there we go.
That's where we're at. Yeah, so we are jumping the goddamn shark as a nation. What else you got, Gina Grad?
A new basketball league called Overtime Elite will pay high schoolers between the ages of 16 and 18 a minimum salary of $100,000 to play and give them the same amount to pay for college if they don't turn pro. Along with the G League here in America.
Got to get home and share the news with Sonny. Hey, look,
That's right.
they're starting a new league, boy. They're going to need fluffers. Now let's do this. Remember, you're Carolla. You'll be the best fluffer in the league.
Yeah, this is one of those things where there's been a debate for how long about, the amount of money these colleges rake in because of the basketball teams, the football teams, and the kids don't get any money. So this is actually for high school kids.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's kind of, it's an interesting thing. Brian, tell me what you think of this. Mm-hmm. Gina, nod knowingly or something, but if this is in fact a step, like if you go to college and you play for North Carolina and you have a couple of great seasons and then you go high in the draft and you sign a multi-million-dollar contract, well, then that's just learning on the job. Like, you're training and then you get paid. It's like the Groundlings doesn't pay you. You pay the Groundlings and then you get to SNL and then you're Will Ferrell. You know what I mean? So you kind of go.
That's the dream, right?
Yeah, right. That's the dream. So in a way, the guys who needed to get paid are the guys who started in college and never made it to the show.
Sure, of
like
course.
never got that payday.
Right.
So, in a way, we have to figure out a way to get those guys paid because if you're
Shock didn't need to get paid. He worked out quite well for him.
Right, and James Worthy didn't need to get paid. I'm just thinking of a Tar Heel.
No,
but
Rasheed Wallace.
Right, but how about their teammates who just didn't quite make it to the show? So they played basketball their whole life and never made a penny, and these guys signed big bonus baby contracts, 6 months after they left the college team. So in a way, maybe it's a kind of reparations. Maybe it's a kind of, let's find out the guys who started, the guys who played on those championship teams, the guys where, but who never got that big fat payday at the end of the.
It's tough because so remember the O'Bannon case, the UCLA kid who sued, I guess the NCAA because they were he was a star, right? He was one of the guys you're talking about. Why don't you made money? But he went on to make money. But what I'm saying is, they used his likeness, like on the cover of video games or whatever it was. It was clearly his likeness. So it's a weird backwards logic where they're making money off the stars, but the stars are typically eventually the ones who don't need the money. You know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck does the money mean, James Worthy? Maybe his his point guard could have used it.
Yeah, my kind of thing is if you agree to something, then you agree to it. If you want to get a scholarship, get a free education, do this, then the conceit is you must play basketball for free, and then maybe you can go to the pros. Then you decided. But I like I like this new league.
Yeah,
and it's kind of interesting.
Elite.
The question is, so I know the rules are changing ever, for college athletes, but will that hurt their eligibility for they're getting paid to play basketball? Will they be able to play college?
Didn't we do a story where they're going to change some of those rules for endorsements?
That was my question because they're changing the rules.
Right.
Shouldn't we just get rid of all rules at this particular facet of our society? Because here's the thing about rules. No one follows them anymore or no one gives a shit. Like, do we care who gets paid, who doesn't get paid, who can play basketball? It just, may the best man win.
Right.
Screw all the rules and eligibility and all that.
Speaking of rules, I went down the most depressing rabbit hole on Twitter. There's a thread of all the and it's always women. I think there was one dude, just story after story and video after video of women losing their minds in retail stores and restaurants and just beating on each other. And I mean, people aren't following the rules anyway.
Yeah. All right. No more rules.
Okay.
A ruleless society.
Starting today.
All right, let's bring it home, Gina Grad.
You got it. I'm Gina Grad, and that's the news.
Put it in post.
The only thing that really stopped women from having fistfights was a kind of fabric of society.
Decorum.
And decorum, and now that's Swiss cheese, and it's game on.
Yep.
I would reckon I would bet that if you went back to 1951, the ratio of fistfights in the street, bars, public areas would have been 97 to 3 men to women. I think you guys have come a long way, baby.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I think in 2021, I think you guys have caught us.
Surpassed.
I think you've surpassed us.
Yeah.
I think
I agree.
It's your time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really do feel like there are more physical alterations between two women than between two men in 2021, and I think you're going to keep going.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
To the moon. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Put the record out of reach.
again, women are much more likely to want to throw down, but again, the fabric of society kind of kept them in check.
Mm-hmm.
And now you guys are all riding Western style, and it's game the fuck on.
I miss the old days of just bullying each other until somebody got an eating disorder.
Yeah.
Those days are over.
Simpler times.
How hard was it to ride English style or whatever, where you're sitting on the side of the
That's
fucking
right.
horse?
That's right.
One good right-hand turn, and you go sailing off the...
Why do the ones with no nuts ride the side saddle?
I know. Think about how difficult that would be to sit on the fucking horse side saddle.
And
Anyway.
while we're on the subject, I can't remember what comedian it was, but somebody said, why when somebody is weak, do we call them a pussy? You know, pussies, give birth and they stretch and they go back and, what about fragile scrotum? Everything's, a cup to protect your balls and, no, don't sack tap me or I'll, be laid on the floor. If we're being weak about something, wouldn't it be just like a fragile ball bag, not a pussy?
Yeah, agree.
Thank you. That's the only rule.
Fragile
is changing that.
scrotum seems like the follow-up to Hungry Hippos.
Yeah.
Like where you're launching like condom wrappers into this plastic sack that's in the middle. Like, hey, playing fragile scrotum. Hey.
Your jock strap goes up and down, tries to catch him.
I remember, I don't know why, but sometimes people get novelty gifts for their birthday. And I remember when I was 18, I got a gift and it was a box and it was like wrapped and everything. And you guys remember gifts when you needed gifts? It was
fuck you look forward to it.
It was a
Wasn't that long
big
ago?
deal. Like, I hope this is some shit I need, man,
Yep.
because I don't have a lot of shit. And this is going to be, and I was living in the fucking garage in a box. It was a birthday with like a bow on it. I was like, I hope this is a shirt or a bunch of underpants or something. I hope there's like a crescent wrench
Part
or
of
something
load,
in here. Like there's some shit I could use, like I need stuff. And I opened it up and it was a black jock strap with like silk writing on it and a zipper going down the middle of it filled with peanuts. And it said jock full of nuts. I was like, somebody spent $37 on this shit that could have got me a gift certificate to Sizzler. That could have got me like a little ratchet set from Sears. Like I remember being apoplectic about like a fuck. And by the way, I can't throw it away. I can't wear it.
You for sure consume the nuts.
For fucking sure.
For sure.
But the novelty gifts.
Those are the
Let's
worst.
knock it off. All right, did we bring it home? Oh, we
Yes.
did, yeah. All right, let me hit Geico. Do you own? Do you rent? Well, you do one or the other. How about you get your bundle on? How about you get your homeowners or renters insurance? You bundle it up with your auto policy, and you get it going right with Geico. That is right. Go to geico.com, get a quote, see just how much you could save when you bundle at geico.com. And again, you get a quote, you find out just how fast and how much money you could be saving at geico.com. Reno, Virginia Street Brew House, March 19th and 20th. I think the first couple of shows are sold out, so we're going to be adding some shows. Los Angeles, Jam in the Van Speakeasy, March 25th, 2 shows. We got Adam Ray. We got Dawson there. Loxie's now. Maxie's
Wow.
gonna be performing as well. It's gonna be real family affair.
A lot of good finger popping music. a lot
Oh
of
man,
suggestions.
That's all we know.
finger popping music. Waukegan, Illinois, Genesee Theater, May 6th. So go to mcarolla.com for all the live shows. Dan Dunn, What We're Drinking with Dan Dunn, available wherever you get your podcasts. Until next time, it's Adam Carolla for Dan Dunn, Gina Grad, and Paul Bryan saying mahalo.